I just is one of my favorite samurai hero. He has this technique where he traces the circle, right? But and I can't do this on my sword, but he goes click with the guard. See, he doesn't just go like this, and then somebody attacks him. Click. He starts tracing the circle. Boom. Boom. There's that click involved. Click. Boom. Boom. So in a sense, what we're doing when we're saying we're going bottom top, see this, your mind is important. The problem is most people's mind, including mine most of the time, is the noisy mind, which is the reactive mind. And switching directions. All right. Now, this guy, there was one movie where these people want to kill him. They scout him. And then when one guy says, well, before he starts the circle, why don't we attack him? Right? And then somebody says, okay, this is what we're going to do. He says, why don't we wait for him? No, just wait. Wait. In other words, don't come in. And then what he does is he starts the circle again, click, and they come in again, and boom. So he doesn't need to trace the circle. He just is that. All right, they call it the full moon cut. But my impression of it, the full moon cuts. He is the moon. When he's in that space, really deep, bottom to top, he's like a celestial body. He has gravity. Now, if you go into the Shinto, Tsukinomi no Mikoto is a moon god. And it's interesting because they have a sun goddess. So in most cultures, the sun god, moon goddess in Japanese is turned around. But one thing that the moon god controls is time. This guy never rushes. He never draws in anger. It's like the moon. It's just beautiful in the sky, but it's influencing all of us. And the other thing is the moon is what you see the light of the moon in the darkness. And this guy is very dark, but he's not evil. And one of the things that he does, the whole world is full of oligarchs turning as samurai, warriors, protectors into assassins. They're doing the bidding of people that are very evil, controlling, making life for most people totally miserable. So he's the dark that brings the light in. So when he goes click, and at some point he's so yin, boom, whatever it is, it's formless. So one of the things, for example, here is that we're not a samurai drama, but click. If you spend too much time in the upper trying to figure it out, you just get lost there. It's like, I got it. We'll attack him before he does it. Doesn't matter. Okay, well, this time we'll wait him out. We're going to do the full cut, even though there's a pull. It's like the moon has gravity, right? It just goes again, doesn't react. They can't hold that energy because he gets to be like pure yin, which creates him to be overly yang and stupid. They're caught up in the upper realms, in the noise, and he's kind of in this depth. So we're not by any means that dramatic, but right here, okay, I'm going to try this. Click. Okay, it's right there. Now, Dodo Sensei talked to O Sensei once. He said, Bob-san, so easy. But I can't give it to you. Give what to whom? That's another thing. But I think in some sense, what I'm doing is very easily achievable, but where most people are coming from, it appears to be impossible. Well, conversely, people see it, they don't appreciate it. Fine. But you, and also Robert Fraser, they were Americans, so they weren't like part of the culture looking, yes, that old man is talking about mythical gods and goddesses. We're here to kick ass. You know what I mean? The Americans understood it. You know, I trained down south, not in Tokyo. I was grateful for it because the Japanese there, they didn't understand it either, but they sort of appreciated or sensed it being something. He was the North Star. What do you do to honor the North Star? You become a North Star. You don't copy the movement of North Star or read about it or chart it out. You dedicate your life to becoming the North Star. So, you know, Aikido essentially represented things like divine love, absolutely merciful power, intelligence. What he did was beautiful. And so we sort of are in our own way, on our own path to becoming a North Star. He's the North Star. And if you make other people the North Star of Aikido, then you know you're going to get some of it. But you know, he's the archetype. So you know, just a simple move right here. Good. If he squeezes and locks that, I go then. In other words, okay, we're going to let Kyoshiro do that. Okay, he's going to do it again. And by that time, he's so yin, whatever toxic yang you have, you can't control yourself. You're going in to kill him. That's bad karma. He becomes the agent of karma right there. He never attacks anybody. He never engages, you know, and he becomes the moon with its gravitational pull and its ability to some degree to control time. You can't beat the moon. I mean, you could shoot a missile at it, try to blast it out of the sky, but we'll probably knock it out of its orbit. It's going to fall and hit the earth and kill us all. So, you know, I mean, stupidity. Might makes right. Let's destroy the moon. You're not going to do that. You're going to knock it out of its orbit. It's going to come in, crash on the earth. We're all going to pay the price for it. We're going to be like the dinosaurs. So we want to get rid of that. That's the upper mind, thinking about controlling and winning. All right. There's one scene in the stuff, you know, where somebody, you know, is really vile, a real oligarch. And Kyoshiro, you know, is there and he says, I'm here to send you to hell. And then, of course, the other guy says, no, I'm going to send you to hell. And Kyoshiro's pretty cool. He says, you can't. I'm already there. Right? In other words, you know, part of it is you become more conscious. One thing you have to be able to do is handle the pain in the world. If we were Christ, which I'm not, we'd feel everything. Well, since they said the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, where he was in northern Japan, he would say, we could feel the children burning. He told that to Dodo Sensei. You don't get enlightened to escape what's going on in the world. You get enlightened to help create the world to be better. And there's a Superman movie where Superman leaves to go look for Krypton and Lois gets pissed at him. So she marries another guy and has a kid. And then, of course, they get back and she's married and she's attached. She can't do much, but he takes her flying again, just like in the Christopher Reeve movie. And so finally, he puts her down and she's angry. because he left her, say, I got revenge on you. I'm married. I got a wife now, and I spoke to you, right? And she says, the world doesn't need a savior, does not need Superman. And what Superman tells her is, I fly around, I hear everything. That's not what I hear. The whole world is, there's suffering, there's pain. I exist to some degree to give people a North Star. And you might feel personally a lot about me because of the way things worked out, but you're wrong. So one of the things, if he's coming in, they go this way. Okay. That was a click. I'm going to do the movement click. And the other stuff. So whatever we're doing, we're practicing that click. That click gets us the other direction. If you get too caught in, this is hard because I want to follow all this stuff too. Okay, we got this direction. Okay, now what we're going to do right here, we can go either way, but we're going to rotate the hips. Take. Got that much. Again, it's circle, isn't it? It's like Kyoshiro's cut. He deals with force and aggression by being super yin. And what happens to the force and aggression? It gets out of control because he's not resisting it. He's not opposing it. And then he becomes the agent of karma. And again, the people he kills in the movies are people that are working for evil people, and they're mindless. Samurai is supposed to protect people. They're nice. They're not assassins. And when we create protectors to be killers, the system is wrong. So what we're going to do here, we're going this way. Now I'm going to keep rotating and break free. Thumb goes in the back. Step, pivot, and we got that. Okay. So somewhere in there, there's the click. First of all, there's a click, just boom, there's another click here. Right about here, I'm going to throw here. No. The click is right back here. So you move from click to click to click. When the sword click, 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 you see the sword, the circle, and strobe images. Because why? Because mythologically, Kyoshiro is connected to the moon god. He becomes the moon. And one of the things that the moon god controls, the sun goddess just illuminates everything. And then she got so pissed off. She created night by going into the earth. So you get that. But the moon, with its gravitational effect, in the mythological sense, creates time. And what Kyoshiro does when he gets that click, he becomes kind of a mythological being. It's not, I've been, I'd like to watch that because I like the mythological stuff. But there's that click, click. Then you see the sword doing a circle in strobe images, which means time has been altered. It's so yin. It's not opposing all the evil out there. He's just saying, and he tells people, I'm here to send you to hell. And you can't send me there because I'm already there, which means he's cool where he is. Heaven and hell is just are really just viewpoints. And yeah, he's in hell because he can feel the suffering of everybody. He's that advanced. So when he says, I'm going to send you to hell, that person is somebody who's creating hell for everybody else. Right? So in a sense, it's kind of a commentary on that. We can get so caught up in fighting something that sometimes, we just have to go quick. I'm not going to stop all the evil in the world, but I can sharpen my senses, give myself purpose, and calm my spirit down. And maybe help other people do that and survive this horrible period. Okay, so just one brief, we got this. Now right here, if I just keep turning, it breaks free. The thumb goes to the back here. Now, most people right here, they step and they kind of do that there. But what I kind of want you to see is I'm even with his shoulder. When I step here, I'm in his blind angle. Come on. Good. And then we turn. There's a, Kyoshiro understands all 360 degrees of that circle. It is that circle. It is the moon. It's not a technique. It's who he is. And he exists, because of the evil and the suffering in the world caused by people who are taking advantage of people like us. Okay. Anyway, enough of that. Let's switch to the Kotegaeshi.